Hello everyone, welcome to my video for Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain, Episode 6, Where Do the Bees Sleep? This is the S-Rank Foxhound Emblem walkthrough. So, what you first want to do is, for me personally, you can get on your horse, or in this case I use D-Walker, because I believe D-Walker is faster than D-Horse. You're going to be going a good distance here. This mission for me personally is not my favorite mission in the game. For this reason, this is the reason. Because it's actually a fairly long mission, one of the longer ones in the game. And I prefer the ones that are the shorter, quicker S-Rank, Foxhound, no traces missions. The ones that are quick, you're in and out. Maybe in three to 5, maybe even 8 minutes. This one's like 15 minutes long. So definitely not my favorite, but it's still an interesting mission. That if you can get in and out of these areas quickly, I think it would be something kind of cool. First off, I'm not even sure. I don't believe you can get no traces on this mission, which is a bummer, because at the end you have to deal with the skulls. And I'm not quite sure, but I believe that voids the no traces. So the no traces is kind of void in that situation. Unless somehow you can sneak past the skulls, that might be possible. But don't quote me on that. So in that case, this is a kind of a difficult mission to actually no trace, if it's even possible. But for me, on this run, unfortunately, I actually tried this quite a few times to get no traces, and I wasn't successful. I was very close towards the end, but then I ended up getting spotted and ruining the run, and I had to start over, and it gets very frustrating when you have to start over multiple times on this mission because it is very, very long to get to point A to point B. But what you want to do is go down here where I'm at. Every time I went down in this area, I never got spotted, so that's a plus. But there is a guy on the left there as I fall down. I have no idea why I fell there. But there is a prisoner on the left that you can extract, which I think going through this, what I did, and now seeing this, I believe it would probably be better if you could just extract him. Because if no traces is impossible on this mission, then you can just go ahead and extract him, because it makes it a whole lot easier. Because if you don't, you're going to have to go as fast as possible to get to where you're going. Otherwise, they're going to take that prisoner to where you're going and search for that honeybee rocket launcher, and it's going to make it very hard because there's some enemies that go in there and they will try to find this rocket launcher, and they'll basically end up blocking you. Because after a while, they do find the rocket launcher, and then they will guard it. And you'll just have to forfeit your no traces anyway, because you're going to have to engage them. So I say just put some of those bombs on the road here, those EMP bombs that will disable the vehicle, and then you can just extract the prisoner and be done with that. So... But keep in mind that also coming up to this area, you're going to have to be careful because there are two enemies on the road here that are walking. And if you go down in there, they will see you. So, night and day does matter. During the night, these two are actually walking away from you. And they're going to pop up here in a second. So, there they are right there. They're actually walking away from me at this time of night. I believe in the day, they're actually walking towards you. So that could be a little bit different strategy there. But here, I'm actually trying for no traces here, which is why I'm not just going up behind them and taking them out, or even tranking them, because I'm trying to go for no traces. It proves unsuccessful though towards the end, but I'm still trying here. But what you want to do is you just want to crawl here, because if you walk or duck walk through here, you are going to get seen. So you're going to want to take your time. I think this is what also makes it even longer, because you can't just run through here or use D-Walker. Those guys make it kind of a pain. If maybe in the daytime it might actually be simpler, because if they're walking away from you, you just go behind them and then use D-Walker then to sprint to where you got to go. But in this instance, it was actually at night, so I'm going to have to crawl. But in the meantime, that will give me a little bit of time to talk about this game, about how some of the negativity that's going on with this game, and I don't want to rant too much about it, but there are a lot of fans that dislike the game, which is fine. It's all subjective. They like the older style game, which is fine. I agree with that. But there's a lot of, I think, unjust criticisms towards this game by a lot of the fans. I actually read something on Facebook that I just couldn't believe, that somebody said that not only is this the worst game in the series, that's fine. If they want to think that, that's no problem. But they also said this is one of the worst games of all time, which that is just absolutely ludicrous to think that. But like I said, it's all subjective. But when someone says they think this is the worst game of all time, I just think that they are just being overly ridiculous. This is clearly not one of the worst games of all time. I've played many games over the years, and this is not one of them. By far not one of them. And for me personally, this is actually one of my top favorites in the series. For me personally, I mean, I would still rate MGS 3 the best, for me personally. And then MGS 1. And then I would actually put this game in third, for me. I really enjoyed this game. A lot of people say it's repetitive. Well, all games are repetitive in certain ways. The other games were copies of each other. MGS 1, and then they had MGS 2 was the exact same copy as MGS 1. Exactly the same, beat for beat. They even tell you at the end, it was the Shadow Moses simulation. It was the same thing, over again. So, all these games have been repetitive in some way. They all have some type of twists and turns and throughout them. It's just that the others were set up more linear and more movie-based, where this is set up more TV show-based, which I think makes it more prominent to make it look repetitive. Because you're doing the same thing. You're going in, you're doing a mission, you're being extracted, you're having a cutscene or two, and then you're going right back in and doing the same thing over and over again. But the thing is that is the repetition fun? And for me, it is fun. Even though it is repetitive, it's still fun to infiltrate these bases, to give you the choice to either crawl in like I'm doing here, sneaking in, or I could just get up and I could just shoot all these guys. You can take Quiet and give her the 50 cal, and you can kill all these guys, if you wish to do that. So there is a lot of... I think there's fun there. I really do. So a lot of this negativity, I mean, everyone's going to be different. Everyone's going to see it differently. I think age has something to do with it too, personally. I think a lot of the younger crowd that likes to have stuff quickly and done quickly in this day and age, to have action and explosions and to have things, you know, very fast-paced. I think it has something to do with age. For me personally, I'm older, so that type of stuff, the slow burn type stuff, or movies or shows or whatever, don't bother me. But that being said, it's definitely not a 10 out of 10. I'd still probably give it like a 9, maybe a 9.5. But it's definitely not a perfect game. It's got a lot of bugs. It has some control issues. It's lacking a little bit in the story department. But overall, I still think it's a very, very solid game and definitely worthy of a Game of the Year nomination anyway. But coming down into here, guys, this is actually where I actually failed. I actually failed my checkpoint here. I had to restart the checkpoint. I actually got spotted in this area. It's very easy to get spotted. As you can tell, there was a lot of guys there. I actually think it's possible to sneak by them now on the right. I could be wrong, but I'd like to go back and try this to do this again and sneak past these guys. But when you come down here, those guys will actually come down here eventually, and they'll be in these doorways searching for the rocket launcher. And it becomes very difficult to sneak by them. You have to take your time, and especially if those guys bring the prisoner in here, then it becomes even more difficult because they will come into this room right here where I am, and they will take the rocket launcher, put it on the ground, and they will guard the rocket launcher. And it will be difficult to get it without engaging them. But since I got here before they did, you just want to try to just get the hell out of here. I'm crawling there. I don't think you need the duck walk through there. You can just run. There's nobody down in here at this time. Plus, I tranked everybody, I think. This is not a clean run. I'm not the happiest with this run. I wish I could have snuck down in here a little more quiet and stealthy. And then this is the part here that I'm not sure if this voids the no traces or not, because the skulls are going to arrive here. And I try here to sneak by them. It doesn't prove very good because they see me. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to get up and run. I have seen someone try to sneak by them, so I think it's kind of possible. I'd really like to see a run just to see possibly if it's possible to get no traces on this. So, but for me, I'm crawling here. I'm trying to lose them to try to sneak by them. They still see me, so eventually I'm just going to just get up and just hightail it out of here. You're just going to want to run. Just run out of here. You don't even need to shoot them. They will eventually try to, up here, they'll try to block you and try to shoot you, but you can just keep running. Up here on the left, they will pop up. There they are. Just keep running, and eventually they'll disappear. So not too difficult. I'd really wish to play this again and see if I can do a little more stealthier run, but even though this is not the most perfect run, and I'm kind of disappointed with this run, it's still an S rank. The S ranks in this game are kind of a joke at times. I don't want to say joke, but they're not hard. They're really not difficult, which is okay with me. I'd hate it if you'd have to actually go through this whole thing stealthy. Oh, that would be difficult. And then actually to get an S rank, it would be a lot more difficult to have certain objectives that you had to do to actually to get the S rank. But the S ranks are very forgiving in this game. That's why I like to tack on the Foxhound emblem, because it does make it a little bit more difficult. But right here, you're just going to want to get to the extraction zone. And then you're going to want to exit. So we're coming down towards the end here, guys. Kind of a difficult mission to do. Completely stealthy and quickly. One of the longer missions, but yeah, not my favorite. Not my favorite, but that's going to do it for me, guys. That's your S rank Foxhound emblem walkthrough there. Appreciate it if you guys could give a like. And I will see you guys next time. Take it easy, guys.